Peace and greetings to you. This is Omar Abdul Malik, physician assistant and health educator. I'm going to field a question that I've gotten from a couple of you all subscribers and Instagram fam and friendship folks and LinkedIn guys. And that question is, at first I want to apologize for some of you all who I haven't gotten back to yet in terms of answering your questions or looking at your personal statements. I'm really busy, but I wanted to try to keep my word. Anyway, that question is from a number of you guys that are foreign medical grads, or I should say international medical doctors. So you're full-fledged doctors in your country, but for whatever reason, you're trying to come to the United States and practice medicine, or you're already here and just haven't gotten residency yet. And I have to say, I was grossly ignorant about just the woes and the challenges of international medical doctors who are trying to practice here in the United States. It's very arduous. It's hard to get. If you're outside of the country and you're coming from certain countries, I feel certain political heads decide either you're a terrorist or an MS-13. I guess that's another political hot topic, which is too bad. But if you're trying to come here and you're like, listen, I just want to be a doctor. I'm a full-fledged doctor in my country. I'm trying to come here and practice medicine. Or, like I said, you're already here. You've passed your boards. So a couple of folks I know, they've passed step 1, 2, and 3 of their USMLE, but they still haven't gotten residency. Now apparently you got to get a certain score to get matched. But even if you get that score, it's just like PA school, med school. They don't have to accept you. The hospital or residency program doesn't have to accept you. Some have asked me, well, these few doctors have asked me about becoming physician assistants. Now, I would say that may be an option. I would say that's an option of last resort. I don't take it offensively. I mean, at first I did. I was like, oh, you couldn't make it as a doctor, so now you want to be a PA. You want to be with us lowly PAs. Forget you. But I understand. Hey, how you doing? I understand that, people want to practice medicine, and the PA paradigm is worldwide now, and people are seeing like, hey, you still got to practice medicine. It's in conjunction with a doctor or under, a doctor's, supervising physician, but you're very much practicing medicine. That might be a good option, especially since I know PAs that are making $200,000 a year. They're grinding for it, but they're doing it. I will issue this caveat, a couple of caveats. One, you still have to go through PA school, even if you're a full-fledged doctor and you've passed all your boards and you haven't gotten matched. I know a guy who's working he's been actually a few who've been working as lab technicians and research aides, basically hanging out in some doctor's laboratory for the past 4 or 5 years, waiting to get residency, and it hasn't happened. Or they go and do an MPH. So maybe this will make me a more competitive applicant. Still hasn't happened. So they're getting frustrated. Some of them have left their families back in their countries, and some just, it's expensive living in the U.S. I said, well, let me become a PA. I can do that in 2 years. Understand this. Number one, a whole lot of PA programs frown upon foreign medical doctors trying to use PA as their, if all else fails, desperate times call for desperate measures, so I might as well be a PA. They take very high resentment on that and may not let you in because of that. They'll make up some reason. Oh, well, you need to go become a doctor then, Dr. So-and-so. Others have had bad experiences with foreign medical doctors. I'll say, let me say international medical graduates. So people, because there's a lot of Americans who've gone to school overseas for whatever reason and come back here and just haven't gotten matched. They've had bad experiences with it. So they, like for instance, it was one doctor who was speaking to me, actually was kicked out of PA school because there was an assignment or something that he was supposed to turn in, and he said he went to the place to give the professor the assignment, but the professor wasn't there, so he left, but then came back, and the professor said, "You didn't show up," and he was arguing back and forth. "I did, you weren't here." It's hard to want to argue against your professor. So they said, "Well, you don't pass because I'm saying you weren't here, even if you were saying you were here." And I started to sympathize with the guy. But then he said something that stopped me from sympathizing with him, and that was, I'm an adult. I have a wife and children and things to do. I don't have time to be running back and forth, chasing these professors around. I said, "Oh, well, excuse me." Besides, I'm a doctor in my country. I said, "Oh, well, excuse me, doctor. Why don't you go back from whence you came and be a doctor there? You have to be humble if you're going to do that." Now, I say this as somebody who was an erstwhile PA instructor. I had a couple of students that were international medical graduates. One guy was a cardiologist with his own practice. There was a war in his country. So he was like, "We have to leave. I can't stay here." But he was so humble. He never told me he was a doctor until I would ask, because he did really well on the exams. He was a great student. Had a wonderful attitude. Very humble guy. He says, "Well, brother, Professor Relic, I am a doctor back in my country." It's a bad accent. But I was really touched. And he told me about the stuff he had gone through with his family. I was like, "Wow, man, that's a lot to go through." He says, "Well, I love medicine, and this is good. The PA, the physician assistant, is good for me. I can take care of my family." So I was like, "That's pretty cool." But so you have to be like that if you're going to be an international medical graduate, and then try to become a PA. You got to humble yourself. It's a bittersweet pie that you may have to eat. Sweet because you get into PA school and you come out and you're making that nice PA money, which may be, as one guy told me, one international medical graduate from South America said, "Look, janitors in the United States of America make more than doctors in my country, okay?" So it could be economic reasons. But that's something you have to look into. I'll help you to the best of my ability, but those caveats are: number one, you have to understand that a lot of PA programs are going to frown upon your efforts and your aspirations for becoming a MD to now a PA. We're not equal to the doctors. We have half the training. That's the fact of the matter. I've been a PA for almost 20 years. We don't have their training. There's a lot of stuff I can do that certain doctors can't. It doesn't make me their equal on an occupational level. And so I slow my roll. So number two, slow your roll. If you're a doctor and you get into PA school, then understand that you're a physician assistant student. You cannot dictate to the PA school what you will and won't do. So I told you in one of my prior videos about the young lady I had who was like, "Oh, I'm not taking that course. I'm not taking that course either." Okay, well, you're not getting in here. How about that? How about that? But I hope it works out for those of you guys. It's kind of an option of desperation. But like I said, I was ignorant about how hard it was for international medical graduates, a lot of them, to get into residency programs, especially if your money's tight. and your connections aren't established, and you got to get a visa or somebody to sponsor you or something if you don't have citizenship. But I hope my rambling, my out of breath rambling, here's my crazy hill. I hope that helps give you guys some guidance. You can catch me on LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram in particular, and I give you my email. I hope it works out for you guys. You know, we need a lot more doctors in this country. Even in the UK, there's a doctor shortage. Whew. So I wish you guys the best of success in your positive endeavors. I invite you to subscribe to my channel if you feel like it. But take care. Peace.